Hi guys, it's Kirk and Show here, and I wanted to make a follow-up video to our last video talking about how I'm feeling about the current endgame of the First Descendant as we move into the next season and the release of Serena and our new endgame modes. The last video was my best video ever. Thank you guys so much for commenting and sharing and all the likes. Greatly appreciated, very humbling. And I actually heard a lot of different perspectives that I think it would be good to kind of touch on how I'm feeling now and what the plans are moving forward. First thing I would like to mention is I complained a lot about Void Erosion Purge, and the community was very split on a few things, namely what is actually worth farming in Void Erosion Purge. A lot of people on one side said that you should never farm anything above 27, and then other people said it's easy, get good, and just farm 30. From personal experience, getting past stage 29 was by far the hardest part, and it felt very much like it was RNG on what teammate I got in public. And this was with running a 3-stack, but we wanted to do it with a 4-stack. Our teammate was random. That was the bottleneck. As soon as we got a good one, we just blew through it and got to 30. 30, dramatically easier to farm. Have never failed a 30 farm. And you don't even have to actually pass it in the right amount of time. You still complete it. Farming 30 is much more worth it, more valuable, and I do think it's important. If you want your weapon to actually be maxed out, or heaven forbid, multiple weapons, you need a lot of currency. You need a lot of rolls in order to get weapons that are actually, like, you know, good. Example, I have this last dagger that I'm working on getting maxed out right now. And I got, you know, all level 10s on there. It's going pretty good. And I got my, you know, god rolls. But doing this, they're not even all gold rolls. If I wanted these all gold rolls, I would need to farm, you know, purge more for more rolls. One thing I don't super like is that you have to farm the hardest boss in the game in order to also do all this rolling. Now, I know there's other ways to earn the material, but if you want the most efficient farm in a game where being efficient is important, you do need to fight Defiler. Speaking of Defiler, I do like Defiler, and there's been a lot of new stuff that's come out for fighting Defiler since my other video. And I can clear him now with more than just an Ez. My Glade can kill him very quickly, and so can my Valby. So there are builds for other Descendants that let you kill Defiler, but my only issue is it feels like you have to cheese him or it's not fun. I will say though, I like him more than the other bosses. He's my favorite boss, and it's mainly because he has no immunity phase. The no immunity phase makes him infinitely more fun to fight. Immunity phase is the worst thing this game has. Moving on though from there, one thing I'm still not super liking, I do not like how hard it is to upgrade reactors. Not only are you implanting them, you know, to make them good, but the part that sucks is actually getting them all the way pipped out, or getting like them fully leveled. I just feel like it takes a lot of material. It takes a lot of material and a lot of time. I have one maxed out reactor. Only one reactor was good enough for a specific build that I maxed it out. And I don't have the resources to just do another one right away. The only thing I would really change on this one that I have right here is I want Colossus damage bonus, because it one-shots Defiler, and it one-shots every boss with this Valby build. And if I had that, it would just do it easier. But I don't necessarily need it, but it would definitely help. But she's the only one, and if you want to know what build I'm running for the boss 1 taps, you have this one. This is the, you basically just spam your 1 as a puddle on the ground, and the boss insta-dies when it walks into the puddle. The other option is you have this dangerous ambush build where you spam your 4, and you hit them with laundry bombs, and it will get one-shot by laundry bombs. It's a very fun build, it's very cool, there's tons of videos online showcasing it. Maybe I'll show it in this video, probably not. But that's like my Valby build. Valby's my favorite character. Part of what I complained about in that video was I felt like Valby was not good enough. I want to say I was wrong. I only had 2 Valby builds at that time. And although I feel like Valby needs to swap builds for each specific thing she's trying to do, and she could be better, I think she is strong enough. I would like them to make her all singular, all dimension, because I think that would just make it easier to swap between all the builds, and you wouldn't have to waste as many catalysts and materials. but she can clear everything in the game fairly easily. She doesn't feel like she has a crazy power fantasy like some of the other options do, but she's very, very fun, and she's still my favorite character. Speaking of power fantasies, that was something else that a lot of people had comments about. My favorite one was the boo-hoo, you can't one-shot everything in the game comment. You're right. Boo-hoo, I can't one-shot everything in the game. I find that very fun. When I'm farming something 1,000 times, I want to do it very quickly. I want to one-shot everything because I've built my character to do that. Right now, currently in the game, you can one-shot most things, even the hard mode bosses. So when you can't, it feels very abrasive and abrupt that I can't, and I don't like it. If they somehow had the game tuned to where it was a struggle to kill things and it took a while and you had to use tactics, and basically if everything was like Void, Erosion, Purge, then I wouldn't mind it because that would be the status quo. But I feel artificially weaker compared to normal, and that's where the abrasion kind of hits. And it makes me just not want to play those modes as much. That being said, I'm more over it, especially with Void, Erosion, Purge. Like, Glay kills the gold elites within like 2 seconds usually with her last dagger. It doesn't take that long. It's definitely not a power fantasy, but it's still cool, right? I mean, I'm still enjoying it. I'm still doing it. But again, videos like this are meant to just tell you, how I'm feeling as someone who's playing the game every day, keeping up on their catalysts, all that good stuff. And right now, honestly, the main thing there is to do for anyone in my predicament is just loop catalysts. I'm just looping them because there's going to be new weapons and a new Descendant coming, and I want to max them out on day one. We'll probably be actually streaming all day that Friday for the new patch, just unlocking Serena. I could also just buy Serena, but I feel like that kind of defeats the whole point of this waifu gacha collector game that this technically is. Just buying the character is kind of lame, especially because it's just guaranteed and there's no gambling mechanics to that. But I think the last thing that I kind of wanted to mention was what I'm a little bit worried about moving forward. I'm hoping that skills and weapons are balanced with each other. I'm really hoping that it's all balanced. I hope that I can choose to use whichever Descendants I want for the new end game, and it's not completely locked behind Serena's flight. I know her flight will make whatever this new mode is dramatically easier, but I hope it's still at least fun with the other Descendants. And same with the new boss. I hope the new boss doesn't feel like you have to cheese it with flight or infinite grapple or something to make it an enjoyable experience. I am very, very worried about what she's going to do to the game. I'm very excited for her. I think she's going to be really cool. But I am worried about an infinite flight character, because the whole game needs to now be designed around having that as an option. I don't know how they're going to limit how high we fly and things like that. Hopefully it's not like Marvel Avengers where you can fly only like 2 meters off the ground and you can't go anywhere else. That would be really, really lame. But it is something I'm worried about. Another thing that I'm worried about that seems to have gotten fixed since I made that last video is the performance issues have just gotten worse. I'm still getting a good frame rate, and I can still run the game maxed out with full ray tracing on cinematic mode and 4K and DLSS quality, all that great stuff. I still have to use frame gen, which is lame. But these new drivers that are coming out are just not working with the game. I had a solid week where the game would crash every time I loaded it up. Every single time. It was abysmal. I had to roll back drivers just for that. And the new drivers came out. I tried those, and then the same thing happened. It wasn't until the third set of drivers came out that I could upgrade, and the game worked. I don't know if anyone else had these issues, but I did, and they were extremely frustrating. Moving on from there, I still have a bug that's driving me insane, and I can replicate it for you. First try. Watch this. If I log out of the game at any point, right? Because obviously you log in and out of the game multiple times a day, because that's how you loop your catalyst, right? So I'm going to log out of the game, and now I'm going to launch it. And hopefully it picks it up on the video of me launching the game. Right now it just says it is loading up out of Steam. So wait for that. Boop, boop, boop. Loading, loading, loading. Initializing. For me, it loads very quickly with an M.2. I know it doesn't seem like that right now on a video, but it does. For other people, this can take an unbelievably long time. Okay, the game is launching. It's not showing up on your end, but I see it on my end. Let me see. This is part of the problem with doing everything live. Okay, there it goes. Okay, this is what happens every time I log in. I have to select my language. I have to choose if I'm using HDR, which if I'm not streaming, I do, because this game actually has amazing HDR support. And then it takes me to the main menu. Beautiful main menu, by the way. I really like the main menu for this game. And then I have this. Default graphics every single time. Now, I've tried all the fixes I've seen online to fix this, and some of the settings save from what I've set it to, but I want cinematic, and I want cinematic. Everything else, for the most part, most of the time doesn't reset. Now, some of the times it does. And then now I can load in on my correct settings. But I have to do that every time I log in, and it started last patch. It was not a problem I had before. I would love for them to fix it because I find it ridiculously annoying. Let me know if you guys have that problem too, or if you know a way to work around it. I don't have auto graphics set on my my NVIDIA, so I don't know why NVIDIA would be doing it. I don't know any other way to have an auto graphics set where it will try to optimize it for me. But if you know how to fix it, let me know, because it is one of the more frustrating experiences I've had with the game. Every time I log in, when you're logging in 3 times a day, I have to click through the all the menus plus that every single time, and it's just a chore. It is. I also want to talk about kind of new player experience that before we go into this next patch. I had a friend who might watch this video, might not, but he's another content creator, so I won't say his name. And he is just now getting into the game, getting back into the game. But the first time he played the game, he didn't really understand it. He just got himself in a hard mode, and that was about it. He was playing with some veterans that have been playing this game for a number of years. Or not a number of years, I don't know why I said that. They've been playing it since launch, okay? Just since launch. And they knew nothing about the game. Like, they knew the game, but they didn't know the game. And there was a couple things that I learned that just, I guess, aren't common knowledge that was making this guy's grinds to unlock one simple character take multiple days when it should not have. First one, guys, this is free tips. When you're farming a Descendant, go to library, pick the Descendant that you're farming, say it's Ultimate VSA, and look at all the stuff you need for VSA. Wow, very cool. These are the main things you need, these gold blueprints. That's what you need to target farm. Click F on the blueprint, and you can see where the blueprint drops and what material you need to drop it. Click on the material, see how many you have and where you farm it. If you have none of these materials, click G to set it as a target reward. If it's grayed out, try it on a different one, because some of the ones you can't set the target to. Once you have that target reward, you can re-click on this and go farm the thing it says to do. So if it's Hard Executioner, that's what you're farming, and you'll eventually get the drop. You do this for all of them, and then you can make the thingies and then the character. It should never take you more than a day to make a character, okay? Unless you're stupid unlucky, it should not take you more than a day. These other materials are very, very easy and quick to get. No one ever has to worry about those. But that's all you do. They didn't know that. They didn't know that you could, let alone, they didn't know you could track the progress, so you can see how much of this stuff you have on your main screen, which I can show you. Once you click the button to track, the same way that you set rewards, click U, and there they are. There's the tracking. Spiral Catalyst, which I could probably untrack. And you can also see below that the pity I have to getting the amorphous material I needed to farm said Catalyst. It is crazy how many people don't know that. I don't know how anyone has survived this game without spending before, because having to farm without that would just, yeah, not fun at all. Another thing they didn't know is that you should just be looping catalysts all the time. That's like your #1 priority, because you literally can't build your characters without that. It's crazy how many people just chain build characters and never build them, and let alone even know how to use the catalysts. Like, all you do is you go to this screen here, click module settings, and click on the thingy. and you make it the same matching type as the slot that you're putting it on. Very easy, and that's how you get your module capacity up. Simple little things that just make, you know, a world of difference. Another thing nobody seems to know, maybe because nobody used weapons before now, your weapons have roles, guys. I know this is like brain dead stuff for a lot of people, but your weapons have roles, but there's two separate spots to do it. You have weapon readjustment, where you click on your weapon and you literally get to pick what your stuff is. You lock what you want to lock, and then you roll through all these adjustment options over here. And then you also have your weapon core, and it's a whole separate set of roles that you do through Deslin over here, when you equip your core and you pick the weapon and then you roll through it. These are the ways you get insane weapon damage. And the next thing is people also had no idea how to get Kuiper. You can target farm any module that you want to farm pretty easily. So if you need Kuiper at any point, just come here, hold shift, and look, 74,000 Kuiper right away. I'm over 9 million now. So like, there's a lot of easy things to do. The last one that blows people's minds the most is you're probably farming just inefficiently. For the most part, I think everyone should just be farming 400s if you're going to be farming something. It can be hard to wait, but if there's a 400, you can go check it out. And on the 400, you get these rewards, plus you get to farm your processor set, or whatever this is called. Your gear sets. You also can target farm modules here that you need. You also can get stuff you need for crafting, and you can get your amorphous materials, and there's multiple sets you can pick up here for what you're going to farm, and you get 2 chances of what you want every single day. Eventually it will loop to the one that you need it to loop to, but like this one, another set of 4 that are different. You get another set of stuff that you can grind, so it's distorted resolve right now, and then more things here. Farm these, guys. They're so much more fun. Farming normal sucks. Farming 250s suck. Unless it requires normal specifically, don't do normal. Farming 400s is just the most fun and enjoyable thing in the game, and if you're not doing it, it's just, you'll enjoy it more. Farming outposts and that kind of stuff is just not it. It's not fun. No one likes it. No one does it. So just don't. You should really just be farming your 400% when it's the ones that you need, the filer or whatever boss mat you need for like catalysts and things, and the void purge. And I would just do that until the new patch. The only exception is hard mode. Void Vessel, if you do that, you can get all your catalyst materials done. You can farm your dog mats, and if you need to get a Nez. But that's it, guys. That's all for this video. I'm actually kind of enjoying the end game right now. I think it's pretty sweet now that I've actually conquered everything. It took more effort to do that than I thought it was going to, but you know, we got it done. I will say it did definitely require a team to make it fun and enjoyable, which I don't know if I like. I kind of wish I could have just done it all, you know, solo and not felt miserable. And I still think they need to balance the game to where I can do everything solo and it's good, but when I play as a team, it should be easier than solo, and I think you should get more rewards. Either it's easier and we do it faster, so therefore we can run it more times and get more rewards, or if it's harder because it's multiplayer, give us just more rewards for beating it in the first place. So it doesn't feel like I'm just, you know, bottlenecking my progress because I decided to play it with my friends. That would be my main suggestion for the game. Let me know your main suggestions for the game. Like, comment, subscribe below, and come join me on stream for the upcoming patch on launch day. I will be streaming the whole day over at Twitch and TikTok. Normally stream every Friday for a good chunk of the day, and intermittently throughout the week. Love you guys very much. See you on the next video.